Today's Cowboys Report mailbag is made possible by Manscaped. Make sure your balls are looking nice and proper. The perfect stocking stuffer for you this holiday season is Manscaped, so you can stuff something else. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys gets you 20% off and free shipping on other top-of-the-line men's grooming products. All right, lots of questions to get to. We're going to begin with some super thanks that came in previously. First up from Jay Crenshaw. I love that Dallas Cowboys chain. That is the turnover chain we wear, or I should say I forget to wear when there is a turnover, and the Cowboys had a bunch of so I wore it for the entire postgame cut last week. Thank you, Jay. Jay, super thanks. If you don't know what that is, let me explain here. YouTube has added super thanks. It's a newish feature outside of live videos. You can click the thanks icon. If you put in a super thanks, we'll show you some love because we appreciate your support here on the Cowboys Report. A super thanks equals a shout out. There's two of them now from Bohanna94, my guy. I'm not going to go all caps. I drank too much yesterday. I'm tired. Tom, always love you and the show. Great work. Thank you. I give them a D-. That was for the great against the Texans. Can't play this against a 1-10 team. What areas do you need to address to make a deep dive in the playoffs? Okay, I think big thing you're missing on offense. We can do O-line talk later on today. Against a cover 2 zone team, not going to have as much success motioning Lamb to get him into space, although he should have motioned him more. But the way to beat cover 2 is run the football effectively, hit the hole shots as best as possible. You don't have that outside threat right now for the hole shots. It's not really Lamb's game. Gallup and Dak have not been able to connect on those yet this year, and I think it might be because Gallup's understanding has worked in the past. Gallup's injury is the main change there. Maybe T.Y. Hilton can help in that area, but you wanted to run the football as best as possible. Well, after that initial opening drive against Houston, you averaged 2.3 yards per carry in the ground game. You need a consistent offensive line play and ground game, or have your quarterback cook. A lot of turnovers are probably your number one thing, though, in the end. So what is your biggest concern right now for the Dallas Cowboys as an organization? Head down to the comment section. Let me know. Is it coaching, play calling, turnovers? What is it? Sound off right now. And then Bohannon again. Tom, you're the best. Also, why'd we stop running Pollard? Please help me understand. Kellen Moore must go. At his core, Kellen Moore doesn't really want to run the football. He would rather air it out and run the Boise State offense that he ran for so many years. Now, I think the reason in terms of this past game why you didn't run the football as much is you weren't running it well. You had a lot of no great gains on the ground. You had one explosive run, and that was kind of it. But you are still running Pollard and playing Pollard more than Ezekiel Elliott is. The last 4 weeks since Zeke came back from his injury, Tony Pollard, folks, has actually outsnapped Ezekiel. He is your starter at running back. Now, the touches are almost identical. Catches and yards. To the surprise of nobody, Tony Pollard's been a little bit more explosive. Are you happy with the way the rotation has worked? Do you want a bit more Tony Pollard? Or just in general, who should be your lead running back? I don't have any issues with the way it's been utilized. I think that they're getting into a bit of a bad habit of just running Tony Pollard up the middle, and I think getting him more on the outside will benefit. Their two best runs came on the outside with Pollard, but the Cowboys don't love those outside runs, and Elliott's better for the most part on the interior. So pick a running back for me. 20 for Tony Pollard, 21 for Ezekiel Elliott. Pin comment, you know the deal. Ad break comes. Take advantage of it while the ad plays. Head down there, 20 or 21. From Lucky Clay Gig Services, Will Fuller versus T.Y. Hilton. Who's better? It very much depends on which T.Y. Is he healthy? Is he on the PEDs again? Or Will Fuller, I did that in build-up too. Which Will Fuller? Do you get the healthy one or the one who's taking steroids and also not playing at all right now? It's kind of weird. I'm going T.Y. because I don't trust the uncertainty around Will Fuller. From Jordan D., who is the new right tackle? I would hope Jason Peters. Josh Ball wasn't very good. He had two brutal plays that almost ruined your chance of winning. He had a allowed sack that was a forced fumble because Dak's arm got as he threw it. Then on the interception by Dak, defensive lineman got right into Prescott again in his arm. That's why. Andrew Summers says Jason Peters did well, hasn't played right tackle in 15-plus years. This is true. I worry about Peters making the full-time switch at his age. That's not easy on people. He's also, I'm not sure if he can play the entire game, but that's where we're at. So I would go Peters at right tackle. From Anthony Kimbrell, do they move Tyler to left guard when Tyron Smith comes back? I think that has been their plan. Now, my question is, does that get altered by the return of, or I should say the loss of Terrence Steele? Could you try Tyler Smith at right tackle and keep McGovern at left guard? I think that's an option you got to consider. I also know that Tyler Smith has been working on the left side only, and you're not going to move Tyron Smith, so it's a bit of a tricky game to figure out in terms of how you get your best five out there. But I think your best five is Tyron Smith at left tackle in some capacity. Today's Cowboys Report made possible by Manscaped. They're a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs, and they have the perfect gift in the Lawnmower 4.0, the Platinum Package 4.0, plus plenty of other little items for various stocking stuffers. You can grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. Win this year's white elephant of giving out an actually good gift and help all the men in your life, including yourself, go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com and using promo code Cowboys. That's 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Cowboys over at manscaped.com. Links in the comments section and the description. It's manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys for the perfect gift that will be this year's biggest holiday hit. Eric Freeman. Even though the Cowboys are 10-3, they haven't been consistent in their play on the field, and that's what worries me. So I agree. There's a little bit of both is how I'll answer this question. Like, nobody plays consistently throughout the course of an 18-week NFL season. Every team outside of the Patriots undefeated season, then they had some bad games, right? They still won them. You're not always going to have your A game. Finding ways to win with your C and D game is what good teams do. What great teams do is they do that in the playoffs. The Cowboys are a good football team this year, but we've been down this road many times in the last 25-plus years of, hey, they're a good regular season team, and then they choke in the playoffs. They go one and done. They lose, whatever. They got a 13-3 squad with Romo and elite defense, or the Dak and the great offensive line, and you lose after getting the bye, and it's very disappointing. You got to be consistent come playoff time. You're not going to be at every single game in the regular season. You won't be every game in the playoffs. But if you don't perform in the postseason, it would be another big disappointment. But to be fair, that's how every team is. Like, the Chiefs weren't good against Denver last week. Now, Mahomes is Mahomes. He's better, right? He threw 3 interceptions that game. And that's very un-Mahomesian. But you can go watch what the Dolphins did against the Chargers. They've had a great offense this year. And Tua was horrible in that game. They had no chance. So that's how life is in the NFL. How you respond to it, we'll see, and that will impact how you perform in the postseason. From Clayton Boatman, in hindsight, should we have traded for Cedric Wilson? I don't know if the Dolphins were going to move him, but do we have to have the conversation of, is Cedric Wilson just the new Laurent Robinson? Had the one great year in Dallas, gets paid, and then flames up again. I don't think he's as bad as, or at least I think he's a more consistent player than Robinson. Because Robinson had a great year, but sometimes the number 3, number 4 receiver you lose isn't that big of a deal. Maybe it was a fluky year for Wilson. It is weird he can't play. I wouldn't have been mad at it, but he's not making an impact in Miami. From Will Marshall, Peters gets the vote at right tackle. I screamed when I saw a ball in. The main concern is the extra workload that will be asked of him now. It's a fair comment, Will. Peters is 40 years old. I worry if he can hold up for a massive, 70, 60 snap workload. And if you don't trust that, then you got to maybe play Josh Ball at right tackle, and that worries me a lot. So the concerns are valid. You're going to miss Terrence Steele. He's been very good this year for the Cowboys. From Lester McCoy, Cowboys need to bench Leighton Vander Esch. Agree? No. I actually think if LVE, of course he's not perfect, and he's not like a top 5 or top 10 linebacker, bless you, Jeremy, or anything, but I think Vander Esch played pretty well this year. Especially against Houston, there was one bad rep where he overran the play. He was always around the ball, and not super far downfield. Now, D-line gets credit for keeping him clean and everything, but you're paying Van Der Esch $2 million, got you 90 tackles and 4 TFLs. I'm pretty happy about that, even though I like Damone Clark a lot, but I think Van Der Esch has been your best linebacker this year, and that's a good thing for Dallas. Even though he's not a premier player, you want to upgrade in the offseason, fine. But right now, no, I'm not benching him. Who do you think is the best Cowboys linebacker? LVE for Leighton Van Der Esch, DC for Damone Clark, AB for Anthony Barr. Sound off in the comment section. Mr. Pollard, they think that the interceptions are because the receivers can't get separation. I think it seems to be making a lot of tight window throws. Let me see if I can find the stat here on the fly. I saw the numbers in terms of like where they rank in separation. CeeDee Lamb gets open. I got to find the exact numbers here. Maybe I don't know if I can find on the fly, but I would be inclined to agree that the separation numbers have not been good. Found it. So it's a 538 stat using player tracking and everything. So CeeDee Lamb is number 11 in open score, so receivers getting open. Dalton Schultz is 24. Gallup's 95. Noah Brown's at 99. Now, Brown and Lamb have been really good after catch for you. Schultz, certainly not so much, but I agree, especially Gallup. Like all those contested grabs he made against the Giants, they were contested. There are a lot more tight window throws. I think you're missing the juice and speed you would like to have in your wide receiver core, and sometimes the easy buttons from your play callers. There have been a lot more tight window throws this year for Prescott, which good that he's making some, but leads to interceptions because the middle of the field is getting more condensed for the Cowboys because there's nobody on the outside along the sideline to take that big play vertical threat option, so they're giving it open a little bit more, and they're still not connecting. Mike C. What do you think has been up with Micah these last 2 games? Very quiet. I think there's something to be worried about. Thanks. Yes and no. I think ideally your number one player on defense is always making big plays for you in the passing game. Part of it is against Houston. They ran the football a lot. And the pass rush was non-existent against Houston, too, which is a bigger problem there from that standpoint. I think that he is a little bit banged up, but teams pay him a lot of attention. You need some other guys to step up, too. I'm not panicking. I'm not mad. I'm just a little bit disappointed. All right, folks, subscribe if you are a true Cowboys fan. There's news, rumors, updates all season long. So if you haven't already and you want free Cowboys videos, this is your spot. Hit that subscribe button for free right now. From Moses Dunn, should Sam Williams start at defensive end? If Dorrance Armstrong misses some time, maybe. I've been very impressed by Sam Williams this year. Good pressure rate. 8 TFLs is shocking. I think they might trust Dante Fowler a little bit more. As a run stopper, I think that Sam Williams has been much better than what I was anticipating as a first-year player. I'm not going to make him a full-time starter, but I am down to make him one of your top 3 or worst-case top 4 key rotation players in that defensive end rotation. I'm still going to go Tyler Smith for my answer to this question. But who do you think has been the best Cowboys rookie this season? Is it Tyler Smith, Sam Williams? It's not Jalen Tolbert. Maybe Deron Bland in that conversation? Maybe Damone Clark? Let me know in the comment section. Earl Arbogast seems that Dak has regressed to just being a pocket passer. When the pocket broke down before his injury, he always made effective runs. So he's definitely not the same runner he was when he first came to the Dallas Cowboys. I will make note they've called more designed runs this year already. They did it for like 5 games. Then they had the entire season last year. The numbers are down, like average per carry, et cetera. The numbers are down from what he was at the beginning of his career, but better than what they were last year when he, I don't think, was maybe back to top-end speed, etc. But we can go watch the Texans game. That final drive, he scrambled twice for big plays for you. Part of it is the pocket, when it breaks down, Dak's throwing it away because the pocket's collapsing inside of him, and that makes it tougher to escape it. So he's kind of always been a pocket passer, by the way. They've dialed up a few more read options with pretty good success this year. I mean, a couple of them have just been handoffs, and Dak threw a block downfield. He's not the same, 350-yard rusher he was probably at his peak ground game stuff, but he still does it occasionally. From Clayton Boatman, Josh Norman or Kelvin Joseph? I mean, Josh Norman is how old now and hasn't been good in how many years? Norman's 34 years old. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Kelvin Joseph. I might not trust Kelvin Joseph fully, don't get me wrong there, but, I mean, it's been 3 teams in 3 years for Josh Norman. I'm kind of out on that one for Norman. So I'll ride with Joseph and hope things get better with more playing time. JD from DC, can we please cut Josh Ball? Best rookie, Tyler Smith. Agree with Tyler Smith. I think they're going to ride with Josh Ball for a little bit longer. I mean, maybe Avion Collins is better, but not sure I buy that one. I will give Josh Ball some credit because we're going to body him in our Terrence Steele replacements video. He was a good run blocker last week. Studios 300, why the hell are y'all fans 45% B on T.Y. signing with the Cowboys? Is that too high or too low? We're doing this live, of course, part of today's live Monday show with the T.Y. Hilton signing. The pin poll was grade the signing, and with about 2,000 plus votes, it's a B, 45%. It was about right relative to expectations. Gotham Guy, $5, last one here at the buzzer. If anyone had any doubt about Tank Lawrence and his contributions on the field since his contract are gone, huge stop at the goal line saved us. That is twice now you've seen Tank Lawrence split the double team and make a potential games play. Then against the Lions, too, with a goal line forced fumble and a huge play against Houston. Tank Lawrence remains somehow one of the more underrated players on the Dallas Cowboys. That is it for our mailbag. Now, there were plenty of questions we didn't get to. That's okay. If we did not get to your questions, hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney with whatever questions you guys have.